In this video, I wanted to explain the importance of tracking your RevContent variables. So I'm going to be walking you through how to do that with volume. Typically, a lot of the native affiliates, I recommend that you use volume and not ClickMagick, simply because volume is going to give you so much more access to your data than ClickMagick. ClickMagick is a great tracking platform, don't get me wrong, but it's more of a platform that's meant for those on a budget who are starting with traffic platforms that are meant for those on a budget. So let's go ahead and walk you through how to set up a new traffic source inside of Volume for RevContent. So of course, I'm going to come in here to the traffic sources tab. I'm going to click new traffic source, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to name it RevContent. I'm going to skip the postback URL. I'm going to come down here to where it says extra variables. And this is where I'm going to want you to pull up trackingtokens.com, which I've referred to in previous training videos. This is the website that I use to kind of implement all of my tracking tokens so that things are tracking properly and sub-IDs are being passed properly in my data. So let's actually head over there real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are at trackingtokens.com, and you can see the 4 tokens that RevContent is using to track with. Now, each one of them is described, so this is talking about the targets, if you're targeting a certain category, the boost campaign ID, so the actual ID of the boost, the content ID, which is going to be your actual ads, and the widget ID, which is going to be the website that you advertise on. So I would highly recommend that you add in all of these, but at the very least, you need to add in the content ID and the widget ID. I'll just do those two real quick just to show you how that's done. And we are going to want to make sure that both of the track icons are turned to green so that they are tracking these variables. But once that's done, you're just going to go ahead and click Save. So now at this point, let's actually head over to campaigns and let's go ahead and set up our first RevContent ad. So as we can see, our variables have been added in. The content ID is right there. So let's go ahead and head over to RevContent and set this up. So before you start running your campaign, there are a few things that I recommend that you do. Now, I'm going to be discussing this in the advanced profit hack section, but this is something that you kind of need to know about to get started to save you a lot of money. So one of the biggest challenges with native advertising is called bot traffic. So these are fake visitors that are just kind of being used by people who are trying to defraud us advertisers on native platforms, and they're abusing the system. Now, RevContent and other native platforms do the very best that they can to catch these people. However, some of them are extremely tricky, and it's just kind of almost impossible to catch them without them being reported by us advertisers to the network itself. So what you're going to need is something called a blacklist. Now, what a blacklist does is it's going to block out widgets that are either not performing or are bot traffic. In 90% of cases, the widgets that don't perform are just bot traffic. So I would say that the best thing you can do is to contact somebody at RevContent, get yourself an account rep, and ask that account rep for a blacklist. Now, the reason that I recommend you do this is because once you've implemented a blacklist for whatever country you're running in, you're going to see a much lower volume of traffic, but this is actually good news because this means that we're cutting out all of those bot and bad placements. If you have a really good relationship with your account rep, you can actually ask them for vertical and geo-specific blacklists. So you could say, I want to run a BizOp or a health offer in the United States. Can you please provide me a blacklist for either BizOp or health in the United States? So this is really the power of relationships and getting out there and networking and just getting to know people, even just engaging in stupid chat with them and asking how they're doing and checking in with them. I mean, you'd be surprised of some of the powerful relationships I've built up in native advertising just over Skype. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try your best to get a blacklist. If you want to network with other people inside of the Facebook mastermind for Drip Academy who are kind of building together a native mastermind, I would highly recommend that you guys start to kind of build a blacklist together. That's going to allow you to dominate the traffic placements that are actually converting and save you a lot of money. So regardless, I recommend that you implement a blacklist. You can do that by coming up to Widget Optimizer Templates, and you can hit Blacklist. I already have one in here. This is just a template one, but you can create a new one and blacklist. You can name it, and then you're just going to want to put in your widget IDs here as they show in this example. So that's how you set up a blacklist. Once that's done, we can proceed with setting up our first campaign. So let's go ahead and click Create Campaign Boost, and let's set up our very first RevContent campaign. So when we arrive on this page, we're going to see a bunch of different options. I'm going to have to explain all of these to you so that you kind of get a grasp on this. And this may take multiple watches of this video to really get a grasp on this. So for campaign type, we're going to leave it as standard. I don't like to run on auto simply because I don't like traffic platforms to have control of my campaign. So the name of this offer that we're promoting is called DWD Protocol, and it's going to be in the United States, so I would put US. Now, we're going to start it as a CPC. I will explain to you that a VCPM is actually a better setup once you have creatives that have a proven CTR. So essentially, if let's say we start a campaign at 30 cents a click and we're running in the conservative niche, then if we come into VCPM and we up our bid to, let's say, $1 to $2 CPM, and we have a nearly 0.5% click-through rate, or even higher than that, we can actually get the cost of the click way lower than what we were paying with the CPC. In some cases, I've actually been able to cut my CPC by 60 to 70% by switching over to a VCPM. But this is an advanced feature. You need to understand how creatives work, click-through rates, and how to cycle those before you utilize that. So coming down here, we're going to switch our bid amount to 30 cents. That's where I recommend starting. And we're going to set a daily budget of, let's do $300, just maximum, and optimize for engagement. You can use CPA ROI. All this does is it's going to allow you to set up a conversion pixel inside of RevContent. Some affiliate marketers say that it does actually help to boost your ROI, and it does focus in on getting more CPAs or conversions. I have not noticed this. I've spoken with some very high-level people over at RevContent, and they have said that this is simply for tracking purposes. It really doesn't have much of a play in the optimization part of the campaign. So you can test both. I have had very, very successful campaigns on both, but in my opinion, I think to just get started, I would leave it on engagement. So for brand logo, you can hit automatically detect, or you can upload a logo. We're going to be uploading a logo, but we'll do that later on. For start date, you're going to start immediately. End date is never ends. And for this, there's a bunch of different things that we can do. There's topic and there's brand. Once you start running a lot of traffic, you can start using retargeting, and you can actually get very specific with RevContent's interest feature for targeting, which is really, really powerful if you know what you're doing. But I always like to start with topic just to see how well the offer is going to perform. So because this is a diabetes offer, I'm going to want to think of my demographics here. Who's suffering from diabetes? Is it going to be somebody who's going to a fashion and, like clothing blog, or is it going to be somebody who's going to a conservative news website? So I really like to advertise in the conservative news. Editorial news is also good, but the conservative news one is really good. I may also test health and fitness at some point if conservative does well, but I'm just going to start it in conservative because that's where my demographics are going to be. So for country targeting, we're going to want to choose the United States. And once that's done, we're going to choose desktop traffic. Now, the reason that I've chosen desktop traffic is that this DWD protocol offer is a video sales letter, so they have to watch like a 30 to 40 minute long video. These offers almost never perform on mobile from my experience compared to desktop. So you're going to have a lot of competition as far as the same types of offers being promoted on desktop. And in this case, I would actually recommend that you also split test tablet. So you're going to want to make a campaign. Let's say we could actually do US and then make this desktop. If we wanted to make a tablet campaign, we need to separate all of our campaigns out so that we can see an accurate cost per click. You never want to start blending device targeting, countries, topic targeting. You never ever do that in the same campaign. You always make a separate campaign in native. And this is simply because you want to make sure what is actually converting. You want to make sure where your costs are. And it allows you to literally have 100 times more control over your profits than if you just throw everything in and you're really lazy about it. So I know it's a pain in the neck, but please just separate everything out. And this even goes down, like if we switch this over to tablet, you're going to see like different operating systems. For tablet, I'll literally make a tablet campaign for Android. I'll make one for iOS and then one for Windows. So this really allows me to have a better look at the cost of my traffic and the returns that I'm getting off of each one of those campaigns. So down here at language targeting, we're obviously going to choose all languages. I know that that seems a little bit weird, but majority of people in the United States are going to be speaking English, and I would just leave it as all languages simply because sometimes people's browsers are not configured properly or their website may not be configured properly, and it may not allow you to serve because you have chosen just English, even though it is an English-speaking website. So I leave it on all languages, and we can go ahead and click Save at this point. So now that we're on this page, we get to create what are called our content IDs. So the content IDs, if you recall, are the actual ads that display on native platforms. So in order to create our first content ID, we're going to need our volume link, and we are going to need to have a few images and have access to some type of brand logo, and I'll show you how to do all of that. So let's come in here and get our volume link. And let's go ahead and hit content. And we're going to come into destination URL, and we're going to copy and paste in our volume tracking link. So as you can see, I have my content ID, my widget ID. So this is all going to track properly. It's all set up properly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And now it's going to attempt to auto fill out the campaign. Now we don't want to do this. We want to have full control here. So we're going to switch this to video because it is an autoplay video as soon as they reach the page. And we're going to want to do some live spying in order to come up with some headlines that are actually working for the diabetes niche. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So one way to live spy is to use a tool called Adplexity. Now, I did a review on Adplexity on the Drip Revenue YouTube channel. I really enjoy this software because I think it has a ton to offer. And it's really a great tool for being able to live spy and see what other people are using, what types of images and headlines are working. And I mean, this just allows you to do so much. So what I've done is I've logged into the native version of Adplexity. I have a link below this video of how to access Adplexity. So I've typed in diabetes on the landing page. I've chosen the United States, and I've chosen RevContent as my traffic source. So this is only going to be showing me, or it's supposed to only be showing me ads that are having diabetes on the landing page. I have no idea why I'm getting frontline dog stuff. These must be diabetic dogs. But anyways, you can see that there are some very legit diabetes ads that we're getting here. And here's an example image, which is beets. This has been a very, very popular image or angle for probably the past 3 or 4 years when it comes to diabetes. Another one is eggs, a lot of egg images. So, I mean, really just anything that's a strange food that looks really like if you look at the picture and you say, what the heck is that? You know you have a good native image. So you don't want it to be like too clickbaity, like too weird. Like, let's see if we can find one. Like maybe not something like this, because this is just so weird that like I mean, it doesn't even look like it's part of your diet. It just looks strange. So if we just come up here and we click on this one, just for an example, I'm going to be showing you exactly how we can start to get some data here. So it looks like they're actually running the majority of this on tablet, and they're running this campaign across a wide variety of geos. So it looks like they're running in the Netherlands, Sweden, the United States, and it looks like they're running a little bit in Argentina, Australia, Canada, and Switzerland. So it looks like to me that United States is still pretty strong. So if we click on that and we come over here to, okay, so now it's actually updated the device types. It looks like it's mostly mobile traffic, which is surprising to me, although I'm not completely surprised because this vertical and desktop device match have been running for so long, it's probably starting to get a little bit worn out. So we can actually visit the landing page and actually get a copy of their landing page here. Let me show more. So Adplexity allows you to download the landing page, the images, the ad copy, and everything, as well as take a look as to where it's coming from. So they are using volume, they're not using affiliate network. So this could be the advertiser themselves, or this could be somebody who's just getting the offer direct from the advertiser or using an underground affiliate network. But let's take a look here at the actual landing page so we can see. Okay, so this is one that's been around for a while, and as you can see, this simple 5-minute meal will destroy diabetes in 3 weeks. Watch. So this is something called an advertorial. So this type of landing page looks like an article off of a news site or a report or a website or blog. Basically what they're doing is they're trying to make it look congruent with content marketing and look like they're just going to a different website. And then when they click on this video or this call to action or this one as well, or even this one, and there's probably all of these are probably going to the same place as well, they're being taken to the actual offer. So we could actually use this landing page to test a diabetes offer. I'm not going to be using this one, but I just wanted to show you how you can live spy using Adplexity and spy tools. And what we can actually do is we can come back in here and we can check using our user agent changer extension that we used for spying on another video. We can come in here and check the widget. So it looks like they're mostly advertising on myspace.com. So what we could try doing is actually advertising on this widget, and the widget ID is 50101, and we could do a whitelist campaign using this exact same offer as well as the same device type. So we could do maybe 50-50 split test between iPhone and Android setting up, and we could test on this one widget. So this is just an example to show you the power of Adplexity. I do recommend it. Once again, I have a link below. If you don't have access to the funds for Adplexity, it is kind of pricey. I would recommend that you use just Google. So I'll actually go ahead and show you here. If you just type in ads by RevContent and conservative, or you can even just do, yeah, let's just do conservative. You can find a lot of different, yeah, like here's ads by RevContent. So this website has ads by RevContent. It's conservative. Conservative Read has ads by RevContent. Reuters, let me see. I don't think, yeah, I'm not seeing it there. The Conservative Speaker has ads by RevContent. So you can just go down and look through the Google listings here, and you're going to see ads by RevContent. That's an indicator that the website's using RevContent to advertise. So if we come in here, let's see if we can take a look here. Let me turn off my ad block. And yep, there we go. Okay, so this is actually not RevContent. This is another native network called AdBlade, but you can see that this website is being run on a lot of diabetes offers. There's 2 separate diabetes advertisers on this website, so that could show that it's potentially promising. So if it is available to be run on RevContent, I would still try to find out the widget IDs for it. It could just be on a different device type. But either way, I mean, we still found what looks like a potentially profitable placement for a diabetes offer on a totally different native network. So there's one. Let's see if I can go to the next one and find an example here. Okay, so once again, here's AdBlade again instead of RevContent, but it looks like we're getting some more diabetes ads. We could still try to test this diabetes campaign on myspace.com. This looks like a whitelist campaign. Let me see if I can look inside of the URL. Targeting conservative news. So yeah, this looks like a whitelist campaign that somebody's running specifically on myspace.com. So I would probably do a test of running my campaign there. So let me see, 5101. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I do my targeting, but I'm going to come back in and I want to use their images. And I want to use their headline. So if I copy in the headline, I copy in the brand name, which is going to be Constitutional Health. And I switch up the image to picture of the beets. There we go. So that's actually created our very, very first RevContent creative. Now we're going to want 4 to 5 different creatives to test originally. And we're going to want to use different headlines and different images. And once we have a winner, we can start to break it down from there. But as you can see, this really didn't take me that long, especially using Adplexity. It's why I highly recommend it. But if you do some live spying, you're going to come across some images and some headlines you can use, like we saw on that one website from AdBlade. So either way, live spying is an excellent way to see what's working and where, as well as some amazing images and headlines that you can snag to use in your campaigns. So either way, if we go ahead and hit submit, we are going to see that the content ID is now pending. So it typically takes them about 12 to 24 hours during the weekdays to approve stuff. If you do have a rep, you can get things pushed through, I found, as fast as 30 minutes, although that's probably just because I have such a good relationship with my rep. Either way, it doesn't take them that long, and we can go ahead and start running some traffic once we have 4 or 5 more creatives here. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this informative, and I hope that you start running a lot of native if you have the budget for it. It's an amazing traffic platform, has a ton to offer, and there's still a lot of money to be made. Anyways, I will catch you in the next video.